Okay, hi, we're going to transfer this pencil drawing onto this canvas board. And as you can see, I have a piece of tracing paper over the drawing. What I did was I actually blew up the drawing a little bit to fit on this 11 by 14 canvas board. Since this is only a study, I'm not going to put a lot of invest a lot of money on a really good canvas. This is really just to uh, demonstrate how we transfer a pencil drawing onto a canvas. You're probably wondering why we would do that in the first place. Well, what it does actually, by drawing the shapes out, by drawing the whole form and the portrait, we get to understand these shapes very intimately. If we spent a few days on it or just hours, we're kind of in tune to the contours of the face more than if we just dove in and started to paint. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually going around. Now I flipped over the drawing, and you guys can rewind back. So this is actually the reverse of the image. Okay, it's not the positive image. So I'm actually drawing with the 4B pencil around, just around the outlines of the form. Okay, around the lips, around the eyes, around the nose. I'm not doing any shading. Just really getting the general outlines of each shape, each contour that I see. Um, the hairline, the shadow lines are important. We need to understand that those are a part of the shadowing. We need to know how far our shadows have to go in. So you can actually see if you look close, you can see the shadow lines, and I will draw those in. Okay, the shadow line along the hair. It's actually a shadow. It's a cast shadow. And under the nose, that's a cast shadow. So all of those things we have to put into account, and we do have to trace them off. We need to have everything in place for when we start to paint in. Now here you see that I took a pencil and kind of shaded it a little bit, made bigger lines around that area. The reason for that is I want to remind myself that that is going to be a large um, uh, a large diffused shadow. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to flip the tracing paper over, and I'm actually using a 4B. Okay, so the 4B pencils are a little softer. The higher the number followed by a B, the softer the graphite or lead. And you'll see that I go over all the lines that I went over originally, over the original tracing, which is on the opposite side. So the game plan here is to simply cover every line as thickly as possible and try to really go over the exact line, just in case you'll see when we flip this over, we're going to be using a 2H pencil or a hard pencil, and here I'm just scribbling those lines to indicate that that is a diffused shadow shape. Okay, just again going over all the form. Take care to do a good job on this, because what happens is now is we trace this, we're retracing, and then we're going to scribe this image or this line drawing onto the canvas or stretch this. I'm using actually a canvas board, but you can use a regular canvas, a stretch canvas. You can use MDF board that is primed with either acrylic gesso or oil gesso. It's up to you. Since this head is smaller than life size, you could use basically whatever you want. If you did want to enlarge it a little bit, I actually enlarged this head as I mentioned earlier.
just to get everything in the, to fit nicely in my 11 by 14 canvas board. So I'm just taking my time, trying to get those lines as accurately as possible. Because there is a little shifting and moving around. Every time we do something, we're departing very far from the original drawing. So there's little rooms for, a lot of room for error if we don't take care in doing this. And yeah, so I'm going in closer, getting the eye shapes just where I want them to be. And I think there are a few more shadow lines to be accounted for. And I believe that's it for now. And then we're moving on to the opposite side. So here I'm using the 2H pencil. I'm going over my lines. I'll flip the paper over so now the image is righted. And trying to get all of the form in there. And I'm pressing down pretty hard, and there it is. There's the drawing on the toned canvas.